in today's session of Divorce Court. When Amy Hankinson said she wanted to spice things up in her marriage, her husband Dale said no way.
About a year ago, she had told me that our sex life had been getting boring and she wanted to bring other parties into it.
So you wanted to swing together?
She didn't ever want to have sex unless there was multiple partners involved.
I got sick of the deal. He had to beg and beg for sex from me.
You wanted to have a man and a woman, so you could have a new experience other than him.
Well, as long as we're gonna do it, let's have fun.
Today, it's the case of Amy Hankinson versus Dale Hankinson as they come face to face one last time in Divorce Court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Amy Hankinson versus Dale Hankinson. And Mr. Hankinson, I'm advised that after 6.5 years of marriage, you're the one who wants to end it. What's going on?
About a year ago, she had told me that our sex life had been getting boring and she wanted to bring other parties into it. And when she first brought the idea to me, I was pretty curious about it, excited a little bit, and then there was a bar that we had frequent, and after a while we were sitting there and she had pointed out the person she wanted to bring home with us, which was the doorman.
The doorman to where?
The doorman to the bar.
Oh.
Your Honor, that's
So
not
you wanted to
true.
swing together? You were swinging together, is that what they call it?
Not at that time. We had tried swinging before we got married with our neighbors that we lived with upstairs back when we were 17.
When you were 17 years old, you did all of this?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's
You didn't know
not
what
true.
life was all about?
Your Honor, that's
sure
not
didn't.
true.
Were your neighbors 17 or were they adults?
One was, I believe, 17. The other one was 24. The guy was, I believe, 24 or so. But then, anyways, when she had pointed out who she wanted to bring home, I couldn't go through with it anymore. No, I don't want to get
Why,
back into it.
you didn't like the doorman or you just didn't like the idea anymore?
I didn't like the idea, because that was 6 years ago.
Is that because it was a doorman or because of the whole concept?
Because of the whole concept. It
You're
was something that we
lying.
had tried
You are lying.
before, and I wasn't wanting to go through it again.
So you went upstairs and you did the swing,
Right.
and then you wanted to do it with a doorman.
No, that's years later.
That was 6 years later.
Well,
Your
I'm
Honor.
saying, that's what he's saying. That's what causes marriage to fall apart, because you invited or suggested that you have this relationship with the doorman, and he didn't want that.
And he also forgot to mention that we had a girl there with the bar with us who was supposed to be part of this.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
And I was, I told him, well, you're getting yours, I want mine too. She was a friend that had came, as long as we're going to do it, let's have
You
fun.
wanted to have a man and a woman, so you could have a new experience other than him.
Right.
And not just him having a new experience with another woman.
Right.
And that's when it fell apart.
Well, it fell apart because, no, I was seeing somebody else.
So you decided to go along with yours anyway.
Right.
And leave him out. So is that part right?
The part that's right is that I was
Just yes or no,
seeing
that's all
him.
she's asking.
Huh?
Yes or no, that's all she's asking.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yes,
now
I-
you directing traffic here.
Maybe he needs to get
Maybe
out,
we
Your
need to
Honor.
trade places, right?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that I got sick of the deal. Our sex life was nothing. He had to beg and beg for sex from me.
So what you're telling me is that the two of you had agreed to these other people being involved in your sexual relations, but then it got to the point where it's just you and him, and that was too boring for you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And then you wanted this doorman, and you really were hot for him. Is that right?
Yeah, well, our sex life was just completely non-existent. He had to beg for it all the time.
It got non-existent from swinging to non-existent?
Yeah.
She
How'd
didn't
you
ever
go
want to
from
have
all
se-
of this
she
to
didn't
nothing?
ever She didn't ever want to have sex unless there was multiple partners involved.
Well, you started it, so she wanted to
Yeah,
finish
before
it.
we got married, and after we got married,
That's
I
not
wanted
true.
a monogamous relationship with her, and the only thing, that was just something that we experimented with. And we both
Oh, you
talked
didn't
and
intend
agreed.
for it to keep happening.
No.
Well, don't you
Neither
know
one of
when you
us.
play with fire, sometimes you get burned, you got burned.
You're right, we sure did.
I started
But she
seeing
wanted
him
to keep it going on.
Hold on a second.
Because I started seeing him because, as I was saying, it
Started
was
seeing who? Your husband or the doorman?
the doorman. I started seeing him on a sexual basis at first, you know, but then I started getting to know him, and it
What do you mean you started seeing him on a sexual basis at first, and then you started to get to know him?
I
thought you're supposed to get to know the person first, and then you have sex.
I was only kind of using him for sex because, you know, I did love him in my heart. I still wanted to do everything I could for him, but...
For your husband.
Right. And
so at first it was just lust and fulfilling this lustful desire to have a new thing going.
Yes. And then I just started to get to know him. So what happened? Your husband, when you started this, he said he never intended for it to continue to be 3 or 4 people. He wanted it to just be you and him after you got married. No,
he didn't tell you
lying.
that?
He's lying. He
never told you that.
Got married, it was
hold on a second.
It wasn't even, there was no respect for me or any monogamy from the time we met.
So you understood from the beginning, or you never intended for this marriage to be monogamous?
I always intended for this marriage to be monogamous.
She's lying, Your Honor.
When I was
so why did you
6 months pregnant, he cheated on me for the first time, and ever since then, it was...
What do you mean cheated on you? He left you out?
No, this was not something that we... Yeah, okay, he left me out.
So
no,
that's what you mean when you say
I wanted to be
cheated.
with him. I was ready to settle down, have a family, and I was pregnant. We were only 16. We planned on getting married and, you know, having our life, but he decided to start
You were 16 when you got pregnant?
Yeah. I was 17 when I had him. You know, we planned to get married. Everything,
so you did that
we
backwards too, the pregnancy and then the marriage.
Yeah.
And then graduate high school.
And then graduate high school. How old were you?
I was 17 at the time too, Your
So
Honor.
you were both high school sweethearts?
We got married a week after he turned 18, and he was, you know, 18 going on 12. It was...
What, suddenly he reversed on you?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? He reverted to a younger age?
No, his mentality
That's what I'm
reverted
saying.
to it, yeah.
So as soon as he turned 18, he started acting 12?
Yeah, we never had any money. He was always spending our money, bouncing checks.
We didn't have a checking account, Your Honor. That's a lie. We didn't have a checking account.
All right.
We've had several checking accounts because you had to keep opening them because you would always put them in.
What you're saying is that after you got married, you had a child already that you had done backwards. You got married at 18, then you graduated high school.
No, I graduated on time. He did.
She was
and
old,
you had
she was older
experimented with this menage a trois or the neighbors upstairs. But then once you got married, you thought it would just be the two of you.
Right. We were monogamous. You know, it was a
until
normal
he
marriage.
had an affair.
And then, no.
Your Honor, 6 months after we had first started dating, I went out on her and I did cheat on her. 6 months after we were first...
You know what? I don't care what you did before you started dating.
Well, that's what she's reverting to.
Well, I don't want to go there. Will you go past that and get to marriage?
Okay, we got married.
Marriage is when you make the commitment, remember?
When divorce court returns, Amy testifies about the new man in her life.
And the 6 months, 7 months that we've been together has treated me like a queen compared to the 9 years that me and him have been together.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce court is back in the case of Amy Hankinson, who is divorcing her husband Dale because he wasn't into having group sex.
And went in the Army, and 7 days later after I went in, she slept with somebody and told me while I was on the phone in basic training. Well, after that, I come home for Christmas leave, and we promised each other that we're going to straighten up, fly right,
and just
make
be
a
the
go
two
at
of
it.
you.
And it'd just be the two of us.
Okay,
well,
now
I
take me
finished
back to
my
that point, Mrs. Hankinson. You with us?
Yeah.
While he's in basic training and you had the affair. What was that all about?
That was just for the specific reason. I mean, I felt terrible after I did it. And I even told him, you know, I was crying when I told him. I said it did not help me. I didn't do it. You know, actually, I did do it to help me, to help him realize, you know, stop doing this to me.
She wanted multiple partners from the beginning.
No, you are lying. Quit doing that to me.
Well, it sounds like both
because
of you. He is what?
He's a liar. He's good at it. That's his career. He's a career
No, he's not good at
liar.
it because everything he said is real confusing to me. So he's not good at it. Neither
I
are
can
you.
set you on a straight path. That's because I'm not lying.
So how'd you get to the doorman? When did the doorman come in?
That came in July 25th of this year. That's when I
that's
had found
recent
out.
development.
Recent.
Yeah.
When you decided that you were tired and bored with him.
She decided to go out and start sleeping with this doorman. Got facial piercings. He listens to thrash metal, stuff like that. She wants her youth back. which she
That
never
is not
has,
true.
and she
I
has
want-
totally acted on it.
I want a person that's going to treat
And
me like
instead of
A
being
person that's
adult
going to
and
treat you
saying-
like what?
he treats me
Like what?
already in the 6 months, 7 months that we've been together, has treated me like a queen compared to the 9 years that me and him have been together.
And what did he do for
been
you,
together
treating
for
you like
8.
a queen? Tell me.
He's nice to me. He's honest to me. He doesn't lie. He doesn't
How's he
cheat.
honest
he
to you when
doesn't
he's
steal.
when he's deceiving you and having sex with you when you're already married? So how is that honest?
He's honest to me.
Oh, so you think that if he'll go around with a married woman and it's you, that once you and he get
asked
together, there won't
me-
be another woman?
He asked me, "Are you guys on the outs?" You know, and
So what else has
Yeah.
he done to treat you like a queen?
treating me like a queen. I don't mean as far as, you know, buying me this and buying me that, because that's what he would used to try to do. You know, as soon as he would pick me up off the floor or, you know,
So what do
Just
you
so
want
many-
from me? Since the doorman, your husband couldn't give you what you want, now the doorman is treating you like a queen, and I don't know what he's doing. He's being honest with you, said, and not what your husband was doing for
like
you.
he keeps interrupting, Your Honor, whenever I try to tell you what's saying that I'm lying.
Okay, I'm going to
He's-
stop him from interrupting, and I'm not going to interrupt. What does this man do for you since he treats you like a queen?
He makes me feel like I'm somebody special. He never would, because everybody else was a little bit more special, I guess. Wanting to be with them, you know. I got sent home. He broke up our home to fly somebody back down there. I got home. She left the same day he picked me up. We left from the same airport.
So both of you have been totally dishonest with each other back and forth throughout this marriage then?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
That's what you're telling me. That's what I hear. You're saying that he goes off with somebody else. You're saying that she goes off with somebody else. It's probably because it started out on the wrong foot. So I can't get
Well,
you
I
there.
did, but I've tried to be good to him. I've sat in the window and cried, waiting for him to come home from the strip club at
But
night.
now he's boring to you, so you go out to somebody else. Now, what do you want from me? Because I'm probably going to get boring to you in about 2 minutes. What do you want from me?
After I found out she was having an affair with the doorman, she went and took off. I have both our kids. I have both our kids. I take them to daycare every
I did not
morning.
take off.
Just hold on a second,
I take
Mrs.
them to
Hankinson.
daycare. I wanted her. I understood that, hey, she doesn't want to be in the relationship no more. Take about 2 weeks. I'll even help you put money towards an apartment and live by yourself. No, she didn't want to do that. She packed up. She moved into this guy's house,
The doorman.
the doorman's house. I have both our children, a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. I pay for all their food. I pay at least $100 a week as far as keeping them fed, keeping a roof over their head, keeping them warm, all the utilities and everything.
Are you still working?
I'm still working,
You
Your
pay
Honor.
for child care too?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. She had agreed to pay for half of the daycare, and she had agreed to pay me $100 a week. I hadn't seen.
How much is the child care?
Child care is $100 a week.
And so how much is Mrs. Hankinson contributing?
While she was working, she was contributing half.
How much is she contributing now?
None.
Are you
Honor,
working,
can
Mrs.
I-
Hankinson?
At this time, no. Actually, I
Why aren't
just
you
started
working?
a new job because I quit.
And why'd
because
you
I
quit?
was stressed out over the job, over him.
No, you're not
Just
stressed out over
everything.
him because you found the
I've
doorman who's
been
treating you like
stressed
a
out
queen
over him.
and making you really
The doorman
happy.
has nothing to do with him. The doorman has nothing to do with him.
So why are you stressed out over your husband?
Well, because I've never been happy with him. It's always been, he's always with somebody else. We're always broke because he can't hold on to money. He gets $3. It burns a hole in his pocket. He's got to spend it on something. That's not true. I did not just take off.
What did you do?
I left. He wanted me to stay there. Oh, just stay here and find a place. That's fine. But then he started turning vindictive. He was cold, mean, and I couldn't look I was ashamed of what I did because we were
I turned cold
on the
and mean.
right
Okay,
path.
hold on a second. She's talking now.
We were on the right path. We were going to have our life together. It was just, after
So
all that he had
did you
done to me,
move,
which
Mrs.
I haven't even, I moved out.
Did you take your kids?
No, this is the
So-
only time I have not taken my kids
So
because
you left and didn't take the kids, just like he said.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict and an update on the case of Janet Fuller versus Dennis Umfleet.
He makes me feel like I'm not worthy. Tells me I'm stupid. That will never have anybody better than him.
Divorce Court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce Court is back in the case of Dale Hankinson, who says his wife Amy would rather have sex with strangers than with him.
How much have you paid him on a regular basis since he's had the kids?
On a regular basis, when I was working before, I paid him every week.
And how
I
much did
paid
you
for
pay?
half.
$90,
And
Your
I
Honor.
oh, you're such a liar.
Show me a
Your Honor,
receipt.
that's not
Show me
true.
a
My
receipt.
question is,
Show
how much
me a
did you pay
receipt.
him? No, I didn't tell you to yell at him and say, show me a receipt. I asked you how much, on a regular basis, have you paid him since you left?
I would pay him. Actually, I never gave him a set amount. If he asked me, well, I need this much money for the kids, I gave it to him.
So you gave him
I
whatever
paid
he asked for?
Right, and I paid for half the daycare.
But nothing else? You waited till he asked for it. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no. I mean, how much do you want? You know,
Well, I
there
don't know.
was never a
I
set
think the
basis. It
child has
wasn't
to
like,
eat every day whether he asks for it or not. What do you think?
what was that?
The children have to eat daily whether he asks for it or not. What do you think?
Oh, I know.
And you're living with the doorman. So all of your needs are being met because you're living in his house. Is that right?
Yeah.
He's paying all the rent and everything that you need. So, and he's taking good care of you, treating you like a queen. So that means that all your money you can spend and do whatever you want to do with it, right?
Well, I just got this job. No, I intend on giving half my money to him and paying
But
for
I'm just
the van.
saying, your money is your money. You don't need to pay rent. You don't need to pay for food because
Right.
this other man is taking good care of you. Is that right? So you got basically plate money.
And Your Honor, when she was paying for half the daycare, she had paid with a check and the check bounced. So I ended up losing that form of daycare.
Okay.
No, you ended up losing that form of daycare because she called me and told me that he had not paid her since I left. I was
Well, you
giving
know,
him
if
money
I
to
had
pay
paid
If
her
he's
her.
the
half of
only
it,
one
but her-
taking care of the kids, then maybe he did have a problem and didn't pay her
He's
since he
not
left.
the only one taking care of the kids, Your Honor. He's making it sound like he's a saint, and he's not.
No, he's not making it sound like it's a saint. He just simply said that I have a wife who left the two kids. I'm taking care of them. I'm not getting money from her on a regular basis, and I'm entitled to child support, which in fact he is. That's what
you.
he's saying.
He was getting child support until I quit that job, and he said, well, until you get another one, I can handle it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, now that you have another one, I don't want him to have to worry about it, and it's not for his sake. It's for the sake of those children.
And,
So-
Your Honor, he's making it sound like I just left up and
Your Honor, she
You
has
know what? It's academic to me. You left. Point is, you're not there. The kids are there. They need to be taken care of. He's entitled to support. Okay? So I don't care how you want to phrase it in terms of the way you left. If you left nicely, if you left in a huff, if you told him sweet things before you left, it really doesn't matter. You're not
I mean,
there.
he's making it sound like I abandoned the kids. You know, I always have the kids too. They're always over at
Mrs.
my
Hankinson,
house.
I didn't say that you didn't have them, and I don't care at this point. That's not the issue. You're not hearing with me. You're not staying with me. You keep falling behind.
I'm just,
Here's the court's order. Regular basis, $500 per month. Every month, you pay directly to Mr. Hankinson. I'm going to order a wage assignment so it comes out of your paycheck. And that way he doesn't have to worry about it. Every month. Court's adjourned.
All rise. Parties may leave the courtroom.
When Divorce Court returns, an update on the case of Janet Fuller versus Dennis Umfleet.
She actually had told me that she was having an affair with another gentleman, and she wanted to introduce me to this gentleman.
Closed captioning for Divorce Court provided by. If you would like to have the judge hear your case in Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in Divorce Court. Janet Fuller says she was tired of supporting her husband Dennis and wanted a divorce.
I can't keep taking care of him. I can't keep putting my kids through this. I want my life back. He makes me feel like I'm not worthy. Tells me I'm stupid. That will never have anybody better than him.
That's bull, Your Honor. I have worked so hard in the past 19 years to try to keep this relationship together. She actually had told me that she was having an affair with another gentleman, and she wanted to introduce me to this gentleman.
She told you she was having an
Yes.
affair with another man and wanted
Yes.
to introduce you to him?
Exactly.
Miss Fuller, is that
So-
right?
Can't you see that this is what we don't need? We don't need to be together.
Yes, I can see that very plainly.
Dennis said since his marriage was over, he wanted Janet to return the wedding ring he designed for her. The judge denied his request, but gave him the furniture. Since their appearance in divorce court, Janet has been diagnosed with epilepsy and says she is stunned that Dennis has been very supportive to her, even though their marriage is over. She says he has been spending time with the children and has offered to help Janet any way he can with her illness.
She left me with the kids, but didn't want to take responsibility of help paying for it. I can understand if she's out of a job, but bills come due, they gotta be paid.
Everything he said was a lie. He was blaming it all on me, and he's a good liar.
She has nothing but a nightlife with this guy now, and the kids don't need that.
Yeah, I'm gonna marry the doorman.